For most of my life, I've toiled away in the shadows, far from prying eyes, attempting to solve humanity's longest-running existential questions. Can we transfer one's consciousness into the world of Pokemon? After a quick Google search and some YouTube tutorials, I can proudly reveal that, yes, we can. For Valentine's Day, I thought it'd be a lovely treat to send my girlfriend into the Pokemon world and have her fight for her life throughout the Johto region in the beloved Gen 4 remake of Gold and Silver. The rules are simple: level caps, set battle mode, though that shouldn't matter, and no item use in battle. Held items are fine, however. And I've increased the difficulty of all the gym leaders, rivals, and Rocket Executive battles somewhat, such as Jasmine. Her 2 Magnemites are replaced with a Magneton, and she also has additional Pokemon to flesh her team out better. Also, I need to shout out my girlfriend Ibble, who actually created the thumbnail and custom sprites you'll see in this video. I couldn't have made this without her, so you should check her out on Instagram, Twitter, links in the description below. Now before we start, a quick question of the day. Has science gone too far? With that, sit back, get comfy, and I hope you enjoy this tuned up Johto challenge run. We begin the game as per usual, pick the boy, my name is indeed Rory, and we're off. As soon as we can, we rush down to Elm's lab. He has an exceedingly rare Pokemon in his possession, one no person has seen before. Meet Ibble, the bug girl Pokemon. Replacing Chikorita here, so our rival will have Cyndaquil. She is a sweet bug girl that spends her free time drawing. A pure bug type with a base stat total of 320, which is only slightly higher than that of most first form starters. Her best stats are HP, special attack, and special defense. That low defense, however, will be something to keep an eye out for. With that in mind, I reset a few times to make sure we have an Ibble with a decent defense stat. Honestly, it only took about 5 resets, so we got pretty lucky, with modest nature to boot. Now we can journey to Mr. Pokemon's house, and noticing Ibble only has Absorb, we'll need to level up a bit before fighting our rival Cyndaquil. And at level 6, she learns Comet Punch. Not great, but it's something. Actually, wait a minute, Fairy type? New DLC just dropped for HGSS! You guys didn't know? Keep up. At level 6, we take on our rival and... okay, he has a Chikorita. I don't know how. This works in our favour, so sure. It's a bit of a slog back and forth, Comet Punch chipping down the plant, and Ibble's cute charm slowing it down further. After several turns, we easily secure victory. We return to Elm's lab and name our rival Slam. A friend of mine that coincidentally was playing through HeartGold at the same time as me, but is a little hater and is not enjoying it, which fits our rival's nasty attitude. Before we can leave to start our journey for real, this is a Valentine's themed video, so let's catch another Pokemon, me, and make this a 2 Pokemon run. With that, most of the boss battles will now be double battles. So me, Rory's a bit of a gamer, he's often seen wearing his Haunter hat. Gaming.com. My favourite gaming digisphere, gaming.com. I'm a normal type, also with a 320 BST, leaning more physically here with solid attack and speed, and fair HP and defense. That's right, I'm as plain as they come, just like in real life, but maybe if I evolve, I'll become slightly less plain. The dream team has assembled. Who needs real Pokemon? Us humans can fight too, and we don't play nice. So we continue onwards to Violet City with little issue, clear Sprout Tower, and get ready for our first gym leader, Falkner, who's renting his father's bird Pokemon for the day. Don't worry though, 10% discount for him, his dad is not a monster after all. Our first taste of a double battle, Falkner sends out Pidgey and Pidgeotto. Except, whoa! Pidgey is 1 level higher than usual, see? Tougher. We're just testing the waters before doing any grinding. It is a bit scary as Ibble is weak to flying types, but I'm hoping Gym 1's AI isn't that smart. We gang up and take out the Pidgey easily. However, the Pidgeotto is tanky, healing with Roost and targeting me over Ibble surprisingly. But one critical gust one-shots Ibble. It's clear we can't be quite so cheeky being 2 levels below the cap, so we grind up once. Which upon reaching level 12, Ibble learns a far stronger move in Swift. 60 base power, hits both targets, and is even Fairy type now. There was a struggle thinking what attacks could work as Fairy type, but I think Swift gets a pass. We both feel a surge of confidence with this newfound strength, and saunter like a haunter up to Falkner demanding a rematch. Turn 1 Pidgeotto gusts Ibble, fresh in its mind the Oko it claimed on her earlier. With a level up and no crit, it's not even a 2-shot. And I leer. Since it affects both targets, I'm sure it'll come in clutch. Ibble's next with Swift, and the damage output is really good. Pidgey with a crit tackle unfortunately puts her into KO range. All we can do is pray. Immediately I quick attack and nab first KO on Pidgey, and Pidgeotto roosts. Come on, that's what, 80% health? You little coward. Ibble Swift, which is now not affected by the spread damage penalty, and with a crit takes the Pidgey into the yellow, for a brief moment as the Orange Berry brings it back to a comfy 70%ish. But we should have this as long as the bird doesn't come home to roost. Ibble is KO'd next turn with Gust. My quick attack brings it to the red and tackle. Make that Gym 1 defeated. Not too tough at all, considering we were one level below. You know, I'm not much of a double battle guy, but that was pretty fun. In a small sense, with Leer, I hope we can expand on strategies that are more effective in doubles than singles. For now though, we need to make our way to Azalea Town. To clarify, these regular trainers, these small fries, are still single battles, which ensures we mix up who fights and who rests, keeping our energy up for the boss battles. Just before entering Union Cave, there's a shell bell hiding behind a rock, which honestly I did not know before this. This should be a useful held item, considering all items, mainly healing items, are banned. We make it through Union Cave to Azalea Town, and before taking on Bugsy, we need to stop Team Rocket from cruelly cutting off the Slowpoke tails in the Slowpoke well. Just a few Rocket grunts here, one of which brings me up to level 15, where I learn Rock Throw. That's right, human can throw rock now. Game changer, which will assist massively in the Bugsy battle. Before that, our first Rocket executive battle, with Proton. He sports a Zubat and a Coughing. Zubat supersonic misses and we deal heavy damage with Rock Throw, easily taking it down the next turn. And despite being poisoned and Coughing being tanky, it didn't have much in return to hurt us with. A swift victory this time round. We enter Azalea's gym. No mucking about this time. We're almost at the level cap, and do battle to claim badge number 2. Bugsy leads with Scyther and Kakuna. The decision is simple. Rock Throw Scyther, and Ibble playing support with our newly acquired Helping Hand. Before that, Scyther Leers. Fine for now, but I fear it will just OHKO us next turn. My Rock Throw lands and barely misses the KO. Lastly, Kakuna Poison Stings, and guess what I gave this MFer? A Choice Band. Better IVs, and we're -1 defense, and it did nothing. No poison either. Next turn, Scyther U-turns Ibble. Not surprised that OHKOs, and Bugsy sends out Butterfree. Now I stupidly kept our HM friend in the party here, so this is a loss. We can't switch into them. But okay, we got some intel. I grind to 17, hoping it enables Rock Throw to OHKO, and we go for the rematch. Same opener as last time. Bugsy thinks the same with Scyther's Leer, and Rock Throw, we one-shot. Damage roll for sure, but thank you game. Next out, Butterfree. Same strat again. It does outspeed and U-turn Ibble, but with its low attack, she survives. And now it's 2 gamers versus 1 a choice banded max IV Kakuna. Who will win? Obviously we do, but it put up a slight fight with all its might, despite no respite, left us quite delighted. Gym 2 down. But no time to rest as we're immediately stopped by Slam, eager for the salty run back. He's picked up a Zubat and Ghastly, and let's try the same strat here. Helping Hand, Rock Throw. Ghastly wastes time with Mean Look, and you're not tough, you float in the whoopee cushion. Rock Throw lands and 1 HP. 11 HP. Wing Attack in return takes Ibble down to half. I've picked up Shadow Sneak and now seems the perfect time to use it. Helping Hand to ensure the KO. Ghastly spites me. Clearly I offended him earlier with my comment, sorry. And out comes Quilava. Guess he ditched Chikorita pretty early. I Shadow Sneak Ghastly. It easily lives. Quilava's Ember takes down 1/3 of my health, and Ghastly actually does something of value. Curse on me. We're against the clock here. Thankfully Quilava Leers. Before that, with Ghastly's dying breath, lays a curse on Ibble. It's looking dicey, but a joint level up, and we learn Stomp and Confusion respectively. Stomp deals solid damage, and Swift just takes it under half. But with the Orange Berry healing Quilava back up to a healthy amount, and both of us afflicted with Curse, the tides look to be shifting yet again. Compounded by Quilava scoring the KO on me next turn. Somehow Ibble, with a bad type matchup and Cursed, has to win this for us. She confusions, and confuses. Quilava's confused, hits itself, but still just barely takes Ibble's confusion. Next turn is make or break. Confused, hits itself. We got very lucky there. I mean, deserved for being a hater, Slam. With that, we make it through the forest, teach Headbutt over Stomp, and I realized Whitney's Miltank is only level 19. We take the next route very carefully, dodging trainers to avoid overleveling, and immediately storm Whitney's gym. Thankfully we can take out all the gym trainers without becoming overleveled, and dive straight into the gym battle. Whitney's Miltank is a menace, but I wonder how she does in a double battle. We try the old helping hand strat to maximize our double kick damage, a move I learned a couple levels ago. But it doesn't even KO the Clefairy, and the Miltank knows rollout, critting Ibble at that. Same again next turn, both Clefairy and Ibble are KO'd. But now it's me versus rollout 3 Miltank, which, well, I brought the HM friend by mistake again. We have to reset. Before having another attempt, Goldenrod City has a department store with a handful of useful TMs. We pick up Protect, Reflect, Light Screen and Return, as well as one Iron to boost Ibble's defense slightly, helping guarantee it can live multiple attacks from the Miltank. We teach Protect over Heal Order, with the plan to protect every other turn to keep Ibble alive as long as possible while I deal damage. The battle begins and Ibble protects. Miltank targets her with a Stomp, and I leer. Miltank is just too tanky, with its massive BST compared to ours at this stage. The Clefairy Metronomes Air Slash on me, dealing just over a fourth. Next turn, Ibble Helping Hands. Miltank targets Ibble with a rollout, and I double kick, hoping to nab the KO. But of course, I gave these bosses held items, and the Clefairy's Orange Berry saves it from death. Clefairy then Metronome Seismic Toss on Ibble. She's on low health but can protect next turn. Oh, right, leaders usually have potions. At the very least, Miltank targeted Ibble and I deal good damage to Miltank with double kick. Next turn, now hoping to take out the cow, Ibble Helping Hands, but before I strike, it drinks its own milk, healing back to full. Clefairy mimics and steals our Helping Hand strat. This might be the end of attempt 2. Either way, Ibble has to protect, which blocks a Helping Hand boosted rollout. I double kick Clefairy, bringing it low. Next turn, Ibble uses one last Helping Hand, as the Miltank attacks with a powered up Stomp. My turn, and I won't let Ibble's sacrifice be in vain, taking Miltank down in retaliation. I'm on full health and Clefairy nearly in the red. One last double kick seals its fate. And that's our third gym badge. Things aren't going too badly, though our low BSTs are starting to become a problem. Before continuing on, the game corner has a handful of useful held items worth checking out, namely the Silk Scarf and the Wide Lens. Maybe even the Metronome? Well, I'm not sure if we'll need those items. It expands our options and flexibility for future battles. And hey, I quite like Voltor Flip, so I convinced Slam to join VC and help me earn the few thousand coins needed to purchase the items. How bad could it be, right? You gotta lock in for is it okay if you lock in? Alright.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm always locked in.
Okay.
I've never not locked in.
1 hour later.
Wait, we all know these, so this one has to be the 2. It's science. This is science. I'm stupid. You told me to mark them, and I got too many marks on the board. It confused me.
I told you to mark for
It confused
threes.
me.
You marked the Voltorb one yourself.
You told me to do it though.
Oh yeah, I took control of your
Calm down.
real DS.
2, 2, 4, 2. There's too many 2s, Slam. Where am I going? Where am I going? Oh. Do you want to see the most big dog play ever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the big dog play.
Oh my god.
My god. Rory once again putting himself in a video game.
You heard itself in you ever heard of Velma? That's how it is in this world. In this dog eat dog world.
I haven't thought about Velma in like a year.
Well,
Thanks for the reminder.
Think about it some more, why don't you?
It's been a delightful hour.
You're welcome, man. Have a wondrous evening.
Yep, same to you.
See ya, pal. We travel north to Ekritik City, where upon reaching the burnt tower are confronted by Slam again. This time leading with a Magnemite and Ghastly. Hoping to KO Ghastly before it lays down its curse, Ibble Helping Hands my new and improved Shadow Punch. Unfortunately, we're outsped and it curses me. Sure, I KO it back, but along with Magnemite Spark, this isn't looking good. And when he sends out Quilava, we quickly crumble. After that, we have a few more failed attempts, refining our strategy each time, but it's never quite enough. The Golbat and Quilava especially are just outpacing us. I think it's about time. We grind up to level 24, being very careful to minimize the XP overflow, as Morty's level cap being 25. With the mandatory trainers in this gym, we could go over that. We even resort to fighting Rattatas and Sprout Tower to reach this. As Ibble reaches level 24, she evolves into Ibble. Look at her, she's a flower bug fairy, how delightful. More importantly though, those stats are a huge upgrade. Now sporting a 450 BST, an amazing ability in Serene Grace, and is now the only fairy type in the game, her combat abilities have skyrocketed. With that, we return with a vengeance. Ibble outspeeds and one-shots Ghastly. My double kick brings Magnemite low, and thanks to a bit of good luck with Quilava wasting its time smoke screening when Ibble was using Swift anyway, we're easily out-damaging Slam's team. Despite one last wing attack from Golbat bringing Ibble low, I'd say we've coasted to a relatively easy win. Next we need to clear Morty's gym ASAP. We cannot go over level 25, which is pretty simple with our Shadow Punch and Confusions. Right before taking on Morty, I upgrade my Shadow Punch to Shadow Claw, and now we're feeling pretty confident we'll win this on our first try. Morty sends out Ghastly and Haunter. Ibble strikes first with Confusion, bringing Haunter down low. It retaliates with Dream Eater. I love this AI sometimes. That lets me finish it off with a Shadow Claw, and Ghastly chips Ibble with a Nightshade. All in all, great first turn. But next comes out Gengar, a real powerhouse at level 25. In the hope it goes down just like Haunter, we repeat our attacks. Confusion deals less than we'd like. Gengar's Shadow Ball brings Ibble down low, and Ghastly's Nightshade has Ibble teetering on the edge of unconsciousness. My Shadow Claw does a decent chunk, but the Gengar is still alive and kicking for next turn. Morty, sensing blood, gangs up on Ibble for the KO, but she still knows Protect and uses it at the perfect time. I Shadow Claw and thankfully the Gengar goes down. Morty's last Mon in reserve is Misdreavus. He's actually using the Johto Ghost. They said it couldn't be done, folks. Ibble OHKOs Ghastly and I deal good damage to Misdreavus. Next turn, Ibble knocks it out with a Swift. 4 gyms down, and this is our first victory achieved against a gym leader on our first try. To be fair, we both had pretty solid matchups this time, so it's not too surprising. Before we continue onwards, a little Pidgey told us about an uncommon stone sighted in Burnt Tower. We take the time to look around and notice an item behind some rocks. Using our pal Rattata, it's revealed that it's a Dusk Stone. Curiously, as I picked it up, I felt a surge of power rush throughout my body. I am no longer Rory, but Rory T-Fiend, a normal ghost type. The Haunter hat on Rory's head has come to life, combining powers to take down their foes. Now with a 450 BST and great attack and speed, with decent defense and a solid defensive type, we should be able to breeze through matchups that were previously a struggle, such as Chuck. I mean, I don't know why he gets that fancy title card. This will be easy. In fact, let's battle him now without being at the level cap. It's the home team, the Charging Chucks. They lead with Primeape and Hitmontop. And the away team, Yummy Cake, named by Ibble, might I state, led with Rory and Ibble. Folks are Ghost and Fairy type. Seems like Chuck will have his work cut out for him for this one. A blitz neck fake out from Rory flinches the Hitmontop right out the gate. Primeape, using its patented double team technique, aiming to confound and frustrate Yummy Cake into submission. But what's this? A Swift from Ibble. A super effective attack that targets both Pokemon and cannot be evaded. A brilliant maneuver, dishing out devastating damage. But Hitmontop isn't taking this lying down. A bullet punch targeting Ibble with his signature technician ability drags her right down to his level. Rory takes this opening to headbutt Primeape, scoring a clean KO on the Fluff Ball. And now Ibble's charged up with another Swift attack, knocking out the Hitmontop. An impressive start for Yummy Cake. The Charging Chucks backline has come forth. Heracross and Poliwrath, colloquially nicknamed the Gruesome Twosome. They've shot down many an aspiring trainer's hopes of claiming the Storm Badge for their own. Ibble, sensing danger, protects, and Rory headbutts Heracross. A critical hit! Heracross is on the ropes, but he immediately counters with a Night Slash, bringing Rory very low. Poliwrath blasts a Hypnosis, but is blocked by Ibble's Protect. This match could go either way, folks. And there's a Hyper Potion from Chuck, gathering some boos from the crowd. An unsportsmanlike conduct beneath one with the title gym leader. He's playing dirty to win, folks. Rory, undeterred, headbutts Poliwrath, chipping a third of its health. And Ibble's Swift attack connects once more, taking out a portion from both their health bars. Oh, but look at this! Citrus Berry pretty much nullifies any damage Ibble sends. Poliwrath body slams Rory, unaware that it's part ghost type, leaving him unharmed. This blunder could cost them the game. Poliwrath charging up a focus punch. All or nothing. Rory headbutts Heracross, bringing it low, but Night Slash again is enough to send Rory packing. Ibble returns fire with a Swift and takes out Heracross. Poliwrath lives, but is looking dire. He's lost focus. This could be it for the Charging Chucks. Ibble outspeeds and Swifts. That's a knockout, folks! Game, set, and match! Yummy Cake has earned their victory by a narrow margin. That match was way closer than I thought. If we trained to the level cap, it would be a lot easier. I mean, I specifically designed these boss battles with worse matchups to have some counterplay. Anyway, you might think it's time for Jasmine, but we are really concerned about her steel types for Ibble. And I don't exactly have a great attack for them either. So in the meantime, we head to Mahogany Town and take on the Rocket Hideout. The grunts are easily dealt with, the level difference is huge, and many are still using unevolved mons. As we make our way deeper into the hideout, we stumble across Giovanni! Nah, JK, we got fooled. It's Pretzel, the guy who has a normal looking rocket team initially, and then for some reason just has 5 coughings and a wheezing the next time we fight. He leads with Raticate and Golbat, and I foolishly fake out Golbat, forgetting the inner focus ability. Ibble uses her new fancy Signal Beam on the rat, but surprisingly it survives just, crunching me in return. The bat also wanting a taste brings me to the yellow. I headbutt to KO the bat and Ibble swifts, just in case the bat lives. Last out is Coughing and it stood no chance. Upon defeating him, he taunts us and says to open the radio transmitter room. We need his voice, which is unlike what every other NPC would do. He doesn't open the door for us. Instead, Pretzel's downfall is having a very smart Murkrow that can mimic his voice. And I guess Murkrow's not on board with Team Rocket's criminally-ness. So we follow it all the way to this transmitter room, only to be stopped by Ariana. And the one and only Team Rocket grunt number 372. Luckily for us, Lance met up with us just in time, and there's no way we can lose, right? Level 40 Dragonite on our side? Dragonite, no! Don't miss! Great, I'm poisoned. Right, it's all down to Ibble, just Murkrow left. Dragonite's using Fly. We've got this. Amazing, Lance. You're the champion, right? Yet you let me take all the aggro and kept missing? I'm sickened by you and your disgustingly under-leveled Dragonite. Okay, let's go again. This time I'm leading since Ibble is weak to Arbok's poison. Especially with my fake out, there's a bit of a struggle, but generally this fight goes a lot smoother. Smarter switching, and the Dragonite actually pulled some aggro this time. Upon beating them down, we shut off the transmitter by mercifully obliterating the electrodes. After that, it's finally time for Price, before we even attempt Jasmine's battle. Since Jasmine's ace is at level 35, we can't go beyond that. Price is level 36, but I doubt that will affect our chances much. We easily clear his gym and face the old geezer. He leads with Delibird and Dugong. I lead with my typical fake out on Delibird, as I know for a fact it has Hustle Aerial Ace, and I saw the way it was looking at Ibble. Swift brings it to the brink and chips a quarter off of Dugong, which retaliates with Ice Beam. Does less than I thought to be fair, but takes me to half. Price Hyper Potion's his most valuable team member, and I double kick the Gong. Combined with Ibble Swift, it almost takes it down. While Dugong responds with Brine to Ibble, it really isn't anything to be concerned with, as the following turn we KO both of Price's lead Pokemon before they can do anything. Next out is Mamoswine and Jinx. I kick the Swine, Jinx manages to set up Hail, and Ibble Signal Beams Jinx, but it just survives. Mamoswine's Ice Fang deals an uncomfortable amount of damage to Ibble, but we should have this. Ibble protects just to last one extra turn while I KO Jinx with Shadow Claw. Next turn I Headbutt, and Signal Beam misses. Oh yeah, Snow Cloak. Smogon would shame you. At least we got the flinch. No matter, next turn I Headbutt again, and Signal Beam misses again. And Mamoswine attacks with Blizzard, taking us both down. How frustrating. The strategy I devised for the NPC worked as intended? We run that battle back, and a few differences here. Namely, I crit with Headbutt on Dugong, taking it out early. Mamoswine takes its place, with no Jinx, I don't think they can set up Hail, easily allowing another Headbutt on Mamo and Swift to take out Delibird. And hey, we even get a crit. Mamo already almost fainted. Now with Jinx out on the field, a smarter play would be to Shadow Claw her and capitalize on her awful, disgusting defense. Look at that, one shot. Ibble Signal Beams Mamo. Wow, it tanked it. Luckily no Ancient Power boosts, and next turn we knock it out, netting us Gym 7's badge. Now before even attempting Jasmine's battle, we are grinding up to the level cap. We're going to need it. And upon reaching this, Ibble learns Air Slash. Combined with Serene Grace, that gives her a whopping 60% flinch chance. But yeah, I feel that might be a bit overtuned for this challenge, so we'll keep it for Jasmine's battle, but as soon as we can pretty much after that, we will replace the move. I'm predicting some losses, but hey, you never know. Let's see how we do. She leads with Magneton and Fortress. Turn 1, the play is simple. Fake out flinch Magneton, Air Slash flinch Fortress. Nice, free turn. Turn 2, Ibble protects, and I double kick dealing good damage to Magneton. Fortress has payback which takes me down to half, Next I KO Magneton with double kick and another air slash on Fortress, hoping for another flinch. Or we could get the 5% miss. Rock Tomb in retaliation takes Ibble down to 2/3 and lowers her speed. Out next comes Steelix and the fear creeps in. Neither of us will do much to them. I double kick hoping for the best, but yeah, that damage is about what we expected. Ibble air slashes, business as usual, but this time they don't flinch, and Fortress hits me with a payback. I barely hang on. But all that is a moot point, with Iron Tail Steelix absolutely decimating Ibble. Okay, this attempt is over. We try a few more times just to glean more info before devising our master strategy. One failed strat involved me using Focus Punch, which just not worth it. We recall Ibble's IVs from earlier and realise that, wait a minute, her hidden power type is fighting and a base power of 53. Not amazing, not awful, definitely better than what we otherwise have for her. We travel to Lake of Rage to pick up the TM. Also, we remember the choice specs are here for some reason, and the black belt, which can be found on a Wednesday. Honestly, this location is the MVP for us to go against Jasmine's steely spirit. And it's not just Ibble that had her moveset changed. I now sport Drain Punch. Same power as Double Kick, but its healing factor could prove impactful. Also Reflect will give Ibble a chance to tank steel hits now. Black Belt for Ibble, Shell Bell for me, power and longevity. Armed with this anti-Jasmine technology, we return confident. I fake out Magneton, Ibble air slashes Fortress. This opening strat is still great as long as air slash flinches, which it does. Turn 2. I set up Reflect and Ibble's hidden power nabs the KO. Thank you, Black Belt. Rock Tomb from Fortress is a real pain, losing speed sucks, though it shouldn't matter against Fortress or Steelix, which comes out next. Now Ibble protects and I Shadow Claw Fortress. It's not much, but we'll take it. Though Fortress opts to attack me, at least it's only for half the usual damage. And predictably, Iron Tail on Ibble is blocked. I Shadow Claw again, taking it to the red. Ibble's HP fighting on Steelix, hoping for big damage. Just over a quarter left, awesome. Make that just over a half left, and payback again. I'm down to a third. Steelix Iron Tail misses. This is looking good. Shadow Claw KO Fortress, and hidden power the same for Steelix. Now Jasmine's final Pokemon, Skarmory, comes out. We just need to pile on the damage, though thanks to Rock Tomb, Skarmory outspeeds and Steel Wings. Ibble lives, Reflect coming in clutch, and hidden powers. Ibble protects just in case, and my Shadow Claw takes Skarmory to the red. Steel Wing is blocked as predicted, and assuming no Hyper Potion, okay, never mind. A crit. Get back into the red, where you belong. And assuming no Hyper Potion, oh dear, Ibble protected as well this time. My Shadow Claw deals a bit of damage, but we may have just ruined our victory. I Shadow Claw again, Skarmory just under half, Drill Peck easily wipes out Ibble. And now it's down to me. Shadow Claw takes Skarm to red, and Steel Wing is enough to two-shot me. We need one more Shadow Claw. Yes! Let's go! We barely scrape by. Really, I have to thank the fact Steel no longer resists Ghosts. To be honest, I don't remember changing that, as normally in Gen 4 it still resists. But hey, it saved us here, so I can't complain. Only one more badge to go now. Upon exiting Olivine Gym, Elm frantically calls us, as we're his only friend. Nah, JK, it's Team Rocket. Who could have seen that one coming? They've taken over the radio tower, so off we trot to the radio tower in Goldenrod City, making our way up the floors, avoiding as many grunts as possible to not overlevel. At the top we meet the director who's working for Team Rocket. Nah, JK, it's Pretzel again. Who could have seen that one coming? Instead of having 5 weak little coughings and an under-leveled wheezing, he simply has an appropriate leveled wheezing and a chunky, fat rat. They put up a slight fight, but we clear low diff.
Listen carefully. We stashed the real director in the underground warehouse. It's at the far end of the Goldenrod Tunnel. I'm a nice guy. I'll give you the basement key. Take it with gratitude.
Take it with gratitude? What happened to the man? Gleefully laughing as he ran away upon defeat in the Rocket hideout. Now he's just throwing in the towel. There's a reason Giovanni isn't returning to you incompetent lot. Just before we head down, we remember to change our air slash. In this case, light screen for some utility. Now our conscience is clear. As we head down to the underground warehouse, Salam stops us again.
Hold it!
He shouts. Here we go, this Joker again. Put him up, son. His leads are Golbat and Magneton. I again foolishly fake out Golbat while Ibble hidden powers the Magneton. Golbat's bite chips me a bit, but nothing too scary, and luckily Magneton whiffs the mirror shot. Headbutt brings Golbat low, and HP F KOs MG Ton, Golbat roosts off the damage, and without Ibble's psychic attacks, it could stall us for a bit now. Next out is Sneasel. It's fast, and with Stab Dark it could pose a problem for me, though I disrespectfully ignore it and headbutt Golbat. Before Ibble moves, it feint attacks, dealing heavy damage to me. At least after that, Single Beam takes it out, Golbat delivers a clean bite, and I'm brought dangerously low. But I'm still standing. Any sort of hope quickly vanished as Slam sends out his shiny new Typhlosion. We pray to Arceus, and I knock out the Golbat. Ty Flame Wheels Ibble, dealing 2/3 health, but she's still standing. A retaliatory Signal Beam doesn't do much, but it's all we can do. And the 20% confusion? A light at the end of the tunnel. Next out, Haunter. My brother. I can easily Shadow Claw KO you. And Ty hits itself. I think we've just won this. Next turn, Ibble protects. I headbutt, and Typhlosion delivers the finishing blow. To itself. Thanks, Ty. Couldn't have done it without you. I don't understand. Yeah? Well, we do. It's called skillful use of RNG. Get on our level. We make it to the director, but all he wants us to do is to go take out the rest of Team Rocket trash. Absolute cowards in the Pokemon world, I swear. So we make it back up and are stopped by Proton. Remember him? In the Slowpoke well? Yeah, he did get absolutely clowned on. Good memory. Now, for some reason, his battle never changed. When editing this game, on the list of every trainer, he is essentially at the bottom. Lower than rematch trainers, lower than weird one-off post-game encounters. So I'm wondering if Proton was shoehorned in the game at the last second here. That, or I guess Game Freak's management of files is poor. Safe to say he gets clowned on again then. But Ibble does get to learn Bug Buzz. More powerful than Signal Beam, but no confusion chance. Who needs that? Just one-shot stuff. GG. Up one more floor, we're stopped again by Ariana. Another single battle due to her being an exclamation mark trainer. She leads with an Arbok, and at this point we're really regretting having deleted any sort of psychic move on Ibble. And I won't sugarcoat it, this Arbok clowns on us. Glare, Poison Fang, Crunch. The trifecta of trouble for me and Ibble. Attempt 2, I swap to the lead, and what a difference it made. Fake out, headbutt, tank a Crunch, KO with Shadow Claw. Next out is Haunch Crow. I headbutt and get a lucky flinch, not wanting to chance my luck further. Ibble switches in and tanks the resisted Night Slash. Outspeeds and KOs with Bug Buzz. Last out is Vileplume. Bug Buzz deals solid damage, but it lands Sleep Powder. Next turn with Sludge Bomb, it's clear I need to switch back in, which I do next turn. Tank the hit and KO with a crit fake out. That may have been a single battle, but we need a strong team effort to get the win. With Ariana dealt with, we enter the observation deck, where Archer is waiting. Thinking he's all fancy in a white suit, thinking he's the big dog. Well, guess what? We're the big dogs, and you're a little freaking snubble son. Prepare to die. He sends out Muck and Weezing. Clearly the plan here is to stall. Keep Ibble alive as long as possible. Turn 1, she set up Light Screen as I fake out the Muck. Weezing Sludge Bomb deals an uncomfortable amount to her, but thankfully it's not a 2-shot. Next turn, Ibble protects as I return on Muck. Weezing's Thunderbolt doesn't deal much to me, thanks to the screen, and Muck's Fire Punch gets blocked. Now I KO Muck with one more return, and Weezing gets Bug Buzzed, opting for mild damage over a likely to fail protect. While they score another Sludge Bomb on Ibble, she still tanks it. Archer sends out his ace Houndoom next, and Ibble can feel safe for another turn protecting, as I dish out a max power return on Houndoom, which to our surprise, nabs the KO. I know Houndoom is frail, but wow, that might have been a roll. Thankfully, Weezing targeted Ibble again, only to be blocked. At this point, with Persian outspeeding anything Ibble could do, she goes for a last-ditch protect. Unfortunately, it fails, and Persian feints her with a fake out. My return just barely misses the KO, and Weezing Sludge Bomb does little damage, though it's pretty lucky he hasn't poisoned us at all yet. As Archie heals Persian, my Drain Punch takes it back down to a third, and Weezing Smokescreens. Just gotta hit, which I do. Persian down, one left. Smokescreen from Weezing, my eyes watering, but just a little further. Return lands, it's in the red. Smokescreen 3, I now have a 1 in 2 chance of hitting. I miss. Thunderbolt deals a third. I land, and Weezing goes down. Team Rocket defeated for good. Everybody thanks us, we're heroes, we know, and we can make our way to Gym 8. Ice Path is a nice breather from those back-to-back boss battles, and we make it to Blackthorn City with ease. The final gym leader, Claire, with her dragons, don't have either of us sweating, as Ibble's the only fairy type out there, even if at the moment she lacks any fairy move. We clear out her gym swiftly and challenge her. She leads with Gyarados and Dragonair. The Intimidate from Gyarados will be a pain to deal with, but honestly, I'll just power through because I'm just that tough. I fake out Gary, and Ibble Bug Buzzes Dragonair, while it counters back with a measly stinking non-stab, base 70 special attack, Thunderbolt. Pathetic. I return and bring Gary fairly low, as Ibble smites the dragon. Aqua Tail from Gary is no joke, just able to two-shot me, but it should faint next turn. Claire sends out her second Dragonair. As predicted, my return knocks out Gary, and another Bug Buzz to Dragonair. This time it Thunderwaves me, and lastly Kingdra comes out. It moves first, but luckily misses with Hydro Pump. Ibble takes out the second Dragonair, my return lands, and deals around a third. This time Hydro Pump lands, and knocks me out. Though it's looking like we've already got this, with Ibble taking Kingdra to the red. Claire uses a last-ditch Hyper Potion, and insulted by this vulgar item use, Ibble crits and one-shots the horse. 8 gyms defeated, 8 badges collected. Wait, that's 7 badges. Just gotta pass this impossible exam, and there we go, 8 badges. After a few other tasks, we make our way to Elite 4, dodging trainers to avoid overleveling, which honestly has been kind of an interesting challenge in its own right. As we make it to Victory Road and work our way through, Slam stops us right before we reach the exit.
Hold it!
Oh brother, leave us alone.
I will crush you.
Alright then, let's do this one more time. He leads with Sneasel and Golbat. Instead of faking out turn 1, for once in my life, I return on Golbat, and hope to get a double KO from the start, with Ibble's new and fancy fairy move, Hyper Voice, which hits both opponents. Unfortunately, Sneasel had other ideas and fakes out Ibble. My return brings Golbat low, and it bites in return, dealing about a third to me. This isn't too bad, as now I can Drain Punch Sneasel, easily one-shot and heal back up. Ibble can Bug Buzz Golbat, which, while 4 times resisted, at this low health, seals the deal. Next out, Haunter and Kadabra. Never have we seen 2 freer KOs in our lives. Shadow Claw KO Haunter, Kadabra recovers, oops, and Bug Buzz KOs. Now Magneton and Typhlosion, the scariest duo in this battle. Ibble protects, predicting a fire and steel move coming her way. I return Typhlosion, bringing it low, and it tries to Flame Wheel Ibble. Magneton, however, targets me with a Mirror Shot, taking me just below half and getting the accuracy drop as well. Luckily, my return lands and takes out Ty. Hidden Power puts Magneton in the red, and this time, it Mirror Shots Ibble, again lowering accuracy. So there's a chance we lose now. Just hit. Oh god, Mirror Shot. Ibble tanks it, thank god. And this time my Drain Punch connects. Phew. Slam defeated yet again. And finally he's starting to get why he's losing. We fight for each other while he is selfishly just using Pokemon. Off he plods, and we're clear to take on the Elite 4. We drop off our HM friends and take our first foray into the E4. First up being Will, a Psychic type user. We did our best, but we are over-leveled here slightly. But let's be real. Between the both of us, Stab Ghost and Stab Bug, we easily sweep him. Few levels wouldn't have made the difference. Moving on to Koga, a Poison type user, has both of us very nervous. Throughout the game, Poison Pokes proved problematic. Either way, we have to try. He leads with Quillfish and Venomoth. I fake out Quill, Ibble Bug Buzzes Veno, the damage output is pitiful. A Psychic from Veno, however, doesn't deal much either. Turn 2 Ibble protects and I return on Quill. Unsure if it's enough to KO. Barely. That's a damage roll, I'm sure of it. Veno Tailwinds and next in is Muck. Another Psychic from Veno still leaves Ibble comfortably healthy, and Muck's Gunk Shot misses the mark. In Gen 4 this move does only have 7% accuracy after all. My return on Muck deals half, and Bug Buzz chips it down to a quarter. Ibble's Protect is up once more, and another Tailwind from Venomoth, lucky us, and as expected, Muck tries to target Ibble. Lastly, my return takes out the scary Muck, and next Koga sends out Crobat. No way we can outspeed that. It cross poisons and Ibble goes down. My return deals just over half, but his berry takes it safely out of KO range for next turn. Venomoth Psychics and next turn Crobat's Dark Pulse puts me on death's door, and one last Air Release from Crobat takes the KO. After that encounter, we try a handful more times, but clearly it wasn't working. Ibble at the very least needs Psybeam back, which we can relearn for a Heart Scale from the Move Tutor. And I wish I could say from there, we got our revenge, but simply Koga's team countered us well. But just as we were about to head back and re-strategize again, on our final attempt, things seem to be going our way. Fake out on Quillfish, Psybeam Venomoth, Veno Signal Beams dealing pitiful damage to Ibble. Return for the KO, Psybeam for the KO. Great start. Crobat and Muck out next. Time to protect Ibble. Crobat double teams, not great. My returns deals solid damage to Muck, and Muck's Gunk Shot is protected. Crobat double teams again, My return takes out Muck, and Psybeam lands, dealing just over half to the bat. Koga's last Pokemon, Fortress, switches in now. This turn, it's all hands on deck. Knock out the bat. Before that though, it cross-poisons. Ibble survives, thank goodness. Return hits. Psybeam hits. Crobat down. Fortress, however, waiting in the wings, Gyro Balls and knocks out Ibble. It's a war of attrition. Shadow Claw, Gyro Ball, protect. And just as it was clear I was gaining the upper hand, Fortress goes out with a boom. Shame it doesn't affect me though. And that's Koga down. Up there with Jasmine, it's the toughest battles we've faced so far. Here's hoping the rest of the Elite Four go down easily. Next up is the Fighting Fiend Bruno. But with Ibble's Hyper Voice, it's a pretty one-sided fight. Though Hitmonchan does sneak in a Fire Punch, it's not enough, and before long, his ace Machamp is down. An appreciated relief after the stressful Koga battle. We've made it all the way to the final Elite Four, Karen, who, being Dark type, also looks like Hyper Voice will be put to good use here. She leads with Umbreon and Vileplume. I fake out the flower while Ibble Bug Buzzes Umbreon, which then double teams. Just don't miss, Forehead, and we can nab a double KO. My return takes Vileplume to the red. Ibble uses her beautiful screaming voice to secure the double KO. Next out comes Honchkrow and Houndoom. It takes a bit of deliberation to plan our next attack, but I opt for a return on Houndoom, capitalizing on its low defense, and very luckily score a crit. Ibble uses her patented voice which easily KOs the bird. Just like that, she's down to her final Pokemon, the very well-known Dark type Gengar, that for some reason is weak to Ghost type moves. Very odd. Shadow Claw with a crit, quickest KO of your life. All Elite Four members are down, and the fourth, we didn't even take any damage. While Lance is scary, his Dragonites are deathly weak to Fairy. Could we be in for a straightforward champion battle? We spent time beforehand collecting every rare candy throughout the region. We could level to 50 right away, but decide to throw caution to the wind. Winning first try would feel amazing, and if we don't, it leaves room for hope knowing we've got room to grow still. So Lance, thank you for your help at the Rocket Hideout. No chance your Dragonite is still level 40, is there? Level 49. And a level 46 Gyarados with Intimidate. Looks like I'll be playing at a disadvantage here, but that's fine. Ibble's the damage dealer this battle, I'm more support. Turn 1 Fake Out Gary, Dragonite outspeeds and flamethrowers me. And Ibble's Hyper Voice, how much will it do? Crit! Well, hey, we'll take that, and about half to Gary. Next up is Aerodactyl. This might be the biggest threat. Amazing speed, not weak to Fairy, and with physical rock and flying moves, it can easily one or at most two-shot Ibble. It rock slides. By the skin of her teeth, Ibble hangs on, and while I flinch, Ibble lands a Hyper Voice. Decent damage, but both of them tank it. And Earthquake from Gary spells the end of our first try victory. Attempt 2, we make it a bit further and see Charizard, but again it ends in defeat. Before our third attempt, we level to 50, and I learn Rock Tomb and Protect over Shadow Claw and Drain Punch. I need to stall and lower Aero speed, and the only attack I really need for this fight is Return. Ibble also learned Light Screen over Psybeam, to make tanking the Dragonite's elemental attacks far easier. Attempt 3 begins, Fake Out Gary, Light Screen. This time Ibble outspeeds Dragonite, which uses Thunderbolt. Turn 2 I return Gary, and Ibble's Hyper Voice brings them both low. This time Flamethrower on Ibble deals around a third, and Gary's Earthquake hurts, but we're still doing alright. Lanceful restores Gary, which we'll take that for now. Return and Hyper Voice take it down to red, and knocks out the Dragonite. In comes Aero, the biggest threat. Ibble protects, and as a Rock Slide lands, and crits. Fine then, you know what? I said all held items were valid. The Choice Specs item, which we've held off until now, will boost Ibble's special attack by 1.5 times, but she'll be locked into using Hyper Voice. Oh no, she'll have to keep spamming the dragon killing device. Let's do this, Lance. Fake Out Gary, Ibble Hyper Voice, one-shot Dragonite, Gary in the red. This is power. Next up Aero. Ibble can't protect now though. A full restore on Gary pacifies it this turn at least, and Aero opts to crunch me. With my far better defense stat, and without stab, it just deals half to me. My Rock Tomb misses. This is only 8% accurate after all. Hyper Voice deals good damage to both, but now we won't get the jump on Aero next turn. Riddled with indecision, do I attack Gary? What if I get crunched again? What if Aero Rock Slides? Ibble can't survive that. In the end, I protect and hope for the best. Crunch. Protected. Thank goodness. And Ibble's Hyper Voice takes out Aero. And Gary. What a damage roll, wow. Next out is Charizard. This one we're very glad to have Rock Tomb for, as it naturally resists Fairy. I rock Tomb Zard, taking it to half. Hyper Voice puts Dragonite into the red, though its Citrus heals it back a bit, and Zard is down to a quarter. Blaze Range, Flamethrower. Ibble, do your best. I believe in you. Fire Blast. She lives. Clutch Special Defense. All she can do now is Hyper Voice, easily knocking out Dragonite, and thankfully Charizard goes down as well. Common Ibble, 1 Pokemon left. Level 49 Dragonite. And without the spread damage penalty, another Hyper Voice easily one-shots. Lance is down. I repeat, Lance is down! Ibble, you superstar. I'm so glad you told me you wanted to be a fairy type when making this. I'm so glad it was also easy to implement that. With that, we're registered to the Hall of Fame, our exploits leaving a permanent mark in the history of Johto. Honestly, we returned to the real world better people than when we entered. But what is the one thing I want you to take away from all this? That Choice Specs is OP. Fellas, I gotta be real, this was a massive project for me and I really enjoyed making it. I have to give another huge shout out to my lovely girlfriend Ibble for making these sprites and the thumbnail for this video. She's great and you should check her out on Instagram. Her commissions are open sometimes. That's it from me. Thank you all. Have a good night.